it was like a struggle moving over to America. And then I also had two older siblings who they had to work on getting their citizenship and like their green card. So they still lived in Nigeria while I was growing up in America. So that was like a little bit of a struggle, like being separated from my older siblings.
Of course it was hard, living, because the brother and the sister are like just a year and 2 years older than him. So it was hard. But then you also have to think about, the life you are trying to create for them, and that you have to make a sacrifice first before you can gain anything.
My little brother was born, so like I only knew my little brother. I didn't really know too much about my older siblings. Like we would talk to them like over the phone and things like that. But right around 4, that's when they came to America and I met them for the first time.
When we got there, my dad gave us ham sandwiches, and for some reason I loved it because I've never had it before, but that's what I remember. And then John and the Mecca, I don't remember how we met them, but I think they were in the house or whatever, so when we saw them, we just kind of, I don't know, it was weird because we haven't seen them in person before, so it was just different. It
was hard for me to grasp. I was pretty much like an only child for a little bit. Like I was just like in America with my 2 parents, but then like when they came over, it was like cool knowing that I had like 2 other siblings and they were like experiencing like a different world. They were like living like in Nigeria, like growing up, and were raised in Nigeria. My parents are strict, especially since like they struggle to get to America. They just like think we shouldn't take anything for granted, especially like school, like you have free education.
My dad, what he does is if you get bad grades, he'll make a family meeting, and then basically he'll call you out. So I always hated that.
So I don't know, I didn't really do too well in school earlier, and I wasn't like the best behaved, and then I got in trouble with the grades. So like to teach me a lesson, like my siblings went on to school and I just like knelt down in like a corner, like facing the wall until they got back, and then it taught me like don't take it for granted.
We want to know who had a best season, who is the most improved, and we of course have to recognize the person and give him a hand. And of course, when I see one that does not measure up and do not waste time, they don't like it. What I have to do is kind of ritual for me. I believe in early intervention, basically for kids. If you're failing in your grades and we're able to pick it up, we encourage you, but we have to draw a line to say, hey, you need to wake up. So that is what I've been doing basically. I don't know how they saw it, but it's one of my rituals, and I call it family time.
Having not grown up in the United States, I don't really know much about West Point. We've heard about Harvard, all those other places, but one of his coaches had gone to West Point, so he explained to us. But what really happened was when my husband visited, he was very impressed. And then when I came, I'm like, this is a hidden treasure. Nobody knew.
And when I heard about West Point rooting for him, I told him that's the place you're going. Whether he liked it or not, he didn't express it so badly. But I think to some extent, he knew my emphasis on education, good education. So when it now dawned on him that there could be a combination of good education and at the same time discipline, it kind of sold him out, and he never stopped there.
John reminds me of like my brother, and like the type of like competitive spirit that we have. So it's like whenever even like before season started, like I would like even just in pickup, I would be like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna guard John, because like we both go hard like the entire time. So I want someone to come at me the way I would go with them. So it just makes us better that way.
I mean, they always taught me to like work hard. That's a big thing. And then always like anything you set your mind to, like go out like 100%. And then I'm starting to like realize that, especially here, like things get difficult, but you gotta just keep persevering and pushing through.